Alright, here is my canvas to work with. This is 15 feet long. That's a 20 horse, 2-stroke short shaft Suzuki, which is an awesome motor. This back from side to side is 6 feet, and the front deck is 5 feet by 4 feet. This compartment is 71 long, 16 wide, but it's actually opened up to the front of the boat there. This compartment's 48 long, 16 wide. I got a trolling motor down there that I'm probably just going to put right back where it used to be. A lot of real estate up here. This is 4 feet long, 5 feet wide. This has been a duck boat. It's been a bow fishing boat with a rack and lights and everything. This is a true flat bottom, perfectly smooth, no keels, nothing, just meant to slide across the mud. And it's all welded, no rivets, nothing to leak. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Okay, so I took all my decking, this is my main hatch, and I painted all that wood with this. And my hopes is that this wood will drink up some of this paint here and help seal it against the elements. Over here on the boat, I did the cross brace and I bolted that in. Very, very sturdy for that thin 1x4. So I have these riv nut holes here already and some other screw holes. Those panels will get bolted down solid onto these back seats, and also the screws will go through into the cross brace. That'll help sturify that even more, even though it's rock solid. This is how my batteries in my gas tank are going to be orientated. The whole back is going to lift up and give me access to both batteries in the gas tank. It's all going to get covered with the EVA foam. Along with these two hatches, those are going to get covered with the EVA foam. And then I got to build a whole front deck. I guess we'll see how this works out when I get my foam installed. I hope it looks good. Alright, so here's some of the EVA foam, and I'm going to glaze these down wet while they're bolted down. That way I can get the bolt heads painted also. And the top of this, get that glazed wet. And I'm going to try sticking the foam on, and hopefully, the paint dries to the foam as well as the adhesive that's with it. Oh, maybe it'll be some weird chemical reaction and everything will melt, or maybe it will glue down permanently. That's my theory anyway. We'll see if it works. Alright, so this is how these support plates are going to end up. And this will hinge up right here like so. There's the gas tank, bilge, batteries. I'll have my wiring and everything. These support bars are rough cut 2x3, and man, they're strong. They're every bit as strong as 2x4s. Here, get this all sanded down smooth, and then a coat of paint, a thick coat, and then right before the paint's dry, start sticking the foam down. Hopefully that's adhesive enough. Alright, so I just got the hydroturf done on the back deck here, and I let it tack up for about 2 hours, and then I stuck my hydroturf down in 3 pieces. So you can see the hatch seam there and there. Here's the progress. Now next I'm going to start hydro decking the lids for my 2 compartments. Yeah, a little progress update on the boat. We got the EVA laid down on the hatches in the back deck, and also I gotta make some panels and cover up these ugly holes. I gotta figure out something with my tiller handle, because when the motor's up and the tiller handle comes down, it'll hit on the EVA. I don't want it rubbing like when I'm trailering. Got it set up so I can reach my bilge. That'll be down. I gotta get all new stuff. This is all the old crap that I ripped off of this boat. I'm gonna get an automatic bilge this time, and I can reach my plug real easy right here. I can reach my bulb and everything. gas tank vent without ever having to lift it up. Maybe I'll make the charger plug come out the front. I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm going to work on next is these ugly edges where I tried to cut and the blade caught on those hinges. We're going to work on making a couple of panels for covering that up. Then we'll design a front deck. So I started thinking about this, and what if I just take a grinder and I grind these diamonds down flat and just stick the foam right directly to the EVA, stick some more of this deck. That should probably work, right? I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna try it. Get out of here, you guys. Get out of here. Get. We're working from the front, or from the back to the front, so. Alright, got the back deck done. I got those two lids done, and then I started to go up here. I initially was just going to cover up the holes in the sides, but I had a piece that fit right above that hinge. The only thing is, on these sides, I did grind off the diamonds on this wall, but behind this piece, I did not grind off the diamonds. Because I didn't think I was going to be sticking that stuff there, but now that it's there, I might actually go back and redo that part all nice. Anyways, I guess next I can start designing a front deck because of the supports that are underneath of the diamond plate. It's, you know, it's not a whole lot of options. I can put it right there or way up here about halfway in between those two holes, and I think it's gonna work better where it is. I don't know. I have no plans set in stone, but I'm not sure where I want to start my designing next. If I'm gonna keep going on the back, work on the electrical, I think it'd be a better idea to just do the front, see how everything's gonna lay out, then work on my electrical, because I'll know where I need to run all the wiring. Well, what are we working on now? Well, hydroturf on the sloped walls, cover up like the ugly holes and stuff. Looking at the layout, and so this boat has this bracket right here, which I used to use to hold my net, but actually I think this is going to be a good spot for my fish finder, so I'm going to make a plate. And what I'm going to do is I'll make something similar to this, only I'm going to use that piece of aluminum because I don't want to bolt steel to aluminum. But anyways, I'll make an aluminum plate that'll end up right there. Then my hummingbird mount can bolt onto that, and the wires can maybe run down through there and remain protected. So we'll see how that idea goes, but yeah, we're getting there. We got the mount on there, got a fish finder on there, and I mean that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. It doesn't come over the side of the boat, so it's not like it's gonna rub on the dock or anything. It's up and out of the way, so you know, it doesn't take up any of my space. I just now I gotta decide where I'm gonna run the wires. It's probably gonna go right along under here, and then if I'm gonna have wires over here anyway, I'll probably put my switch panel on this side. For the front, I went to Menards and I got these planks. These are composite fence planks, and they're meant to be outside. They're meant to get wet, so I don't need any. They're flimsy, they're thin, but I don't need any structure because I already got the diamond plate. So I'm gonna picture frame out this front deck with some of these I don't know what you call them, slats, and then I'm going to deck the rest of it straight front to back, and I'll have to see how good it looks, if it looks good at all when I get done. Working on my front deck here. I need one more fence picket to get the layout I want. I got all my corners angles done. Those angles were hard to make. I'm gonna get some different screws and one more picket so I don't have to have all kinds of weird looking seams, and we'll see how this turns out, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so there's the deck boards all screwed into place. Oh, brother, that was a challenge. And I had to countersink all these holes, man. Woo, but she's on now. We can start working on putting the pedestal in here. Gonna put the trolling motor back on, and I've decided against the recessed pan thing for the foot control because this is too big of a front deck. I want to be able to move my foot pedal around. Sometimes I'm fishing off one side or the other. I got my front pedestal mount in there. The trolling motor's not installed. It's just setting up there for brainstorming. Right now my brain is telling me, get a power drive. Got my anchor set up here. I went with a pulley system again, but I wanted to go run this line through the hole right here and then come out, you know, have it go under the deck, but it just started getting to be too complicated, and it's better to just keep it simple. So there's the cranker for the anchor cranker right next to the fish finder. So this is definitely going to be the business end or the office area of the boat, because I am going to build a switch panel right down there. But the project I'm working on right now, if you can see that pedestal that I'm about to install in the floor right there, is going to go underneath my rear deck. This bar will be in there, and I'm going to hole saw the deck and then put a U-clamp through here, and so it comes out flush. So all you will see is like this sticking up through the foam flush with it when you're not using the seat right there. And then you can have just the seat or using the motor, or you can have the pedestal and have the seat up higher for fishing back there. So far, minus the trolling motor, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, well, I got the hole made in the back deck. I'm going to take and I'm going to shorten that one down until it's flush with the deck. And then I'll be able to have my just the chair right there for driving, or have a chair on top of there for fishing. And have a seat right there for rowing or fishing, and a seat up there for fishing. Alright, moving right along here, and I got my seat base post mounted in there, and then so that's supported actually by the floor of the boat and not actually the deck. That one's in there pretty good. I got my seats out and I started cleaning them up with the old vinyl cleaner, because oh boy, they're filthy, but we're getting there. So I'll be able to use that pedestal base to tether my motor and gas tank and everything too for my safety cable. I'll get her out in the sunlight tomorrow and get a shot of her in the light. Well, sort of like sunlight, but yeah, I got her out here, getting her washed up and worked on. I'm working on the motor now. Alright, so maybe I don't need an impeller this year. That one looks like it's doing okay. Cool. Alright, current plan. Oh, by the way, we're not doing a hinged floor anymore, because now that that pedestal rod's built into this, it just kind of clicks right into place, locks in real good. I'll probably just put a couple bail clips on the bottom of that. But no need for a hinge. I like being able to just lift it off and access all this. Now, in between the two batteries, I'm going to build an electronics shelf where I can run my bus bars, my battery charger and all that. And if I build the shelf right there, it will still fit right underneath that deck, man. And I'll still have an open compartment in between the two batteries down here for fire extinguisher, life jackets, whatnot, access, so I can reach the pole. Anyway, there's the progress today. We'll see how my little electronics department turns out. Whew, what a mess. But I'm working on the electrical. I'm roughing in my switch panel down here So I turn it on, I got my voltmeter and everything. I'm trying to hide my fish finder wires, tuck them in right behind that panel too. I built my shelf up here, and like what's really cool about this fuse block, I mean it comes with a nice cover and everything, but it's got these LEDs, so like this is the bilge fuse, right? So if that fuse is blown, check it out. A little indicator comes on if you wire it incorrectly. That lets you know that the fuse is blown. So I'm going to zip tie my convolute up to the handle on this box, and then it runs. Here's my deucer wire and my other harness that runs in here to the switch panel. So we're making some progress, but I just thought that little fuse box thing was pretty cool. Okay, so I got the new bilge installed down here, and you can see the tube going up behind that pod or whatever back there. So the old bilge used to have a bracket that I'm now using for the transducer wire, or the same area, and the tube actually come out over the transom, but this time I actually made the hole in this back corner here. And of course there was other structure pieces all over inside there. The only thing is I can't fit a clamp on the inside of that fitting when I get everything put together, but the hose pushes on there so tight, I don't even think I'm going to need it. So removing the styrofoam consisted of pulling out the switch panel, clawing the stuff up with my fingers until it was small, and then sucking it out with the vacuum cleaner. That's how small I have to break it down to get it to fit through that switch panel hole right there. Got my wiring mounted up for the fish finder and the transducer. So the back of the boat's all done, almost all done. But the big thing, oh guys, I got me a power drive today. The thing is, it's a really long shaft. So long, in fact, that when I have it stowed, it's going to interfere with this lid for this compartment. So I'm going to see if there's a way to actually make that any shorter. And the great thing about this, since it's a power drive, has all this cable. So here's the pedal. I can have the pedal back here on the back deck and be sitting in this seat and controlling the bow mount trolling motor. So that's going to be nifty. Oh, and I made my little kill switch. I don't know if I recorded this or not, but I didn't want to put rivets in my handle, but it worked out the best. I made this aluminum bracket, and I wired in the kill switch into the same original kill switch wires, and everything works out great on that. Okay, check this out. I'm going to shorten the power drive. I asked online, and actually it's a pretty common thing to shorten these, and I got a lot of good tips. And so that's got carbon fiber pipe inside the metal pipe. I found this old shelving tube, and we're going to slide that right over the wires. It fits right down in. We're going to slide it down in. We're going to angle this downwards so that none of the shavings fall into the motor head when I cut, but then I'll re-drill a new hole, and they say that there's enough room inside the head to coil up the remaining wire. So I'm going to give this a shot and see how it turns out. Alright, well that worked perfect. I just slid a piece of pipe in there. I just used the hacksaw and I worked my way around until it started rolling the pipe. I knew it was all the way through. And I took a file and smoothed it off while the pipe was still in there. And yeah, it worked out pretty damn good. Now it's dinner time. Okay, so in drilling the hole, and one thing I did that really helped me is I slid feeler gauges in here to pin the wires down below the drill bit so that the drill bit wouldn't be skinning up the wires. And I just went right through the hole, and she shot out perfectly straight, so I'm really happy with that. Everything they said was right. There is enough room to coil the wires up in there. I got it shortened up, got it hooked up here. and now I can open my compartment while the motor is stowed. And there she sits stowed away. Man, gave me a lot of room. I mean, this thing is a small footprint, which is really nice. I'm really happy with that, and I'm so glad I waited and got a power drive. Man, this is just the coolest thing ever. Here I am standing on the back of the boat, and I'm steering the front of the boat. That's so nice. Oh man, I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I can't wait to get this thing in the water. Alright, little progress. I got my 2-bank charger wired in, and it's set up like as if this was facing the front of the boat. This side charges the battery on this side, and this side charges the battery over here. So I got that hardwired in, and I also put this big disconnect switch in here. Essentially all that is like hooking jumper cables to the 2 batteries in a situation where I would ever want to. This is a much cleaner, better way. So the switch comes out right there, and it's got these little keys. So I tethered the key to the charger plug because you can't use the 2-bank when the batteries are in parallel. So I can only plug in the charger when the key is out. But if I just put that in there and turn it, now the 2 batteries are wired in parallel, so everything's tied together. Because all my systems are 12 volts, so that's trolling motor, fish finder, bilge, starting battery. Everything's tied together. Pull it out. Now we got 2 separate systems, and so you know, if I run the trolling motor battery all the way down, I can still have fish finder and bilge and whatnot. This charger doesn't have any button presses or anything. It's fully automatic, so I plug it in there, and it's coming on, and it's thinking, and it's monitoring the batteries, and so they need to be charged. And then once those get to a full charge, it'll go into a maintain mode. And I found the best way to mount it down was to use servo tape for radio controlled cars. The new plastic and the clean aluminum, it really stuck down really good. Better than, you know, I mean, just as good as screwing it down, I think. And it's not like totally permanent. You can twist and cut it back off if you ever had to replace it when it breaks, unfortunately. But there we are with the deck on it. I'm just going to use the second key this time, but system's tied. Now we got 2 batteries in parallel going, everything. System's separated. Now we got individual batteries, anything that can go through a fuse panel on this side, big stuff on this side. Okay, today I hooked into a 70 amp relay into my trolling motor, so I can turn my trolling motor on and off via a little tiny switch. That was kind of difficult because the contacts on a 70 amp relay are so huge, no spade connectors fitting on there, so I had to kind of make work what I had to make work, but it does work. I can just kind of tuck my charging cord down in this battery box, and I can still reach under there when the floor's on it and pull my cord out. Okay, so here's what we got. So the 3rd switch is off, and so the trolling motor, no go. Okay, turn the 3rd switch on, trolling motor, go. But you can't run the whole trolling motor juice through just a little toggle switch, so that's why I had to install the 70 amp relay. But now I can actually turn the trolling motor off without having to unplug it. Alright, tonight I got my rod holder track systems mounted up. See, I used to have them mounted along the gunnel sideways up here. You can kind of see where there's still paint. This time I moved them straight to the back. I think it'll be fairly functional. This is for long line trolling for crappie, sometimes pike. and whatnot, but not much left to do on her. I gotta get my sticker, and then I gotta put it in the water. Okay, let's try to catalog everything I did on my fishing boat facelift. I changed the way it straps to the trailer. I have these double brackets down here now, and loop it through the handle, and the ratchet mechanism will never bang on the back of the boat. I made the transom saver, a solid aluminum one with a captured pin, so I'll never lose the pin. I made the tiller handle spring bracket that gives it tension so that it won't just fall down onto my foam. It has to get about that far before it's loose. Oh, I made the kill switch, the lanyard style tethered dead man kill switch, and I made the little bracket that goes into there. I made the whole back deck, and I mounted up the rod holder rack. Made the little brackets for the transducer wire. I made the hole and ran the plumbing for the bilge, plumbed it the real way. The fish finder mount, and I did remount this crank in a different position. I cut off one of those big circular rings in order to make it work right there. I cut the hole and removed all the styrofoam and installed the switch panel, my battery box setup, my battery disconnect switch, got a charger cord down there, seat pedestal rod for the seats. Did the EVA on the walls, the lids, and the front here, but not the center lid because I don't want to open it. Everything gets too tight. I got rods, oars in this compartment, which has an opening through to the front. Okay, I did all this composite decking up here. I did the pulley system for the anchor buddy line. I got a different bow line. I got the power drive trolling motor, which is really cool, and I shortened the power drive trolling motor. I love it. So the posts, and what do we got in here? Some starting fluid, some cleaner, some tools, rags, more rope. There's my rod holders. There's my kids' tackle box. That bag is full of my tackle right now. There's where I store my foot pedal and my net. Then there's the seats stored up here. Oh, I gotta get a light because I did do something inside of there. Okay, so trolling motor wiring goes down through the deck there. So I have the trolling motor wires come down, and I tried to get my connections up close to the top to try to keep them dry, and I have a 100 amp fuse right there along with a different breaker in the back of the boat close to the battery. I have 2 more wires left that I can use to add in whatever other devices I want. I don't know what I want to do up here. I was thinking of front fish finder. So that's what it looks like up in here. There's not a whole lot of space, and on this side there's the rod ends right there, so I gotta be careful not to smash those up. Alright, load it up. Ready for our first test since the redo. Now we are legal. Alright, let's go to the lake, check it out. Well, here we are, guys. And I want another manual anchor for the back. But other than that, everything else is pretty dang good. I'm very, very happy with the new boat. And I'm very happy to be back out on the water. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.